Was Pablo Escobar a modern-day Robin Hood or a ruthless monster, the man who showered his city with money while simultaneously plunging it into a nightmare of violence? Today, we're unraveling the tangled, contradictory story of Pablo Escobar, a figure so complex that even decades after his death, the world still can't decide if he was a hero or a villain. Let's dig into the untold story of the king of cocaine. Long before the private jets and sprawling mansions, Pablo Emilio Escobar Gaviria was just a boy from a humble background in Rio Negro, Colombia. Born in 1949, his father was a farmer, his mother a school teacher. From an early age, Pablo had a burning ambition to escape poverty. His dreams were not small. He reportedly told friends he would be a millionaire by the time he was 22. But his path to riches wouldn't be conventional. His criminal career started small petty street scams, selling contraband cigarettes, and allegedly, even stealing and sanding down tombstones to resell them. These early hustles were just a training ground, sharpening the skills that would later help him build a global empire. In the 1970s, a new, incredibly profitable commodity was sweeping through the Americas: cocaine. Escobar saw an opportunity unlike any other. He didn't invent the drug trade, but he revolutionized it. He started by smuggling small amounts, but his ambition quickly grew. He understood that to control the market, he needed to control the entire supply chain. From the coca fields in Peru and Bolivia to the distribution networks in the streets of Miami, he established sophisticated smuggling routes, using small planes, speedboats, and even submarines. At one point, his operation was so vast that he was reportedly smuggling 15 tons of cocaine into the United States every single day. The Medellín Cartel was born, and with Escobar at its helm, it became the most powerful and feared criminal organization the world had ever seen. By the 1980s, Pablo Escobar wasn't just a drug lord, he was one of the wealthiest men on the planet. Forbes magazine estimated his net worth at around $30 billion, making him the 7th richest man in the world. This immense fortune funded a lifestyle that was beyond extravagant. He owned fleets of cars, planes, and boats. His most famous estate, Hacienda Naples, was a testament to his eccentric taste. It spanned thousands of acres and featured a private zoo with elephants, giraffes, hippos, and other exotic animals flown in from around the world. He built a private airport, a go-kart track, and a bull ring. Parties at Hacienda Naples were legendary, filled with excess and luxury. He lived in a bubble of immense power, surrounded by an army of loyal followers. He even spent millions just on rubber bands to bundle his stacks of cash. It's said that he lost about 10% of his earnings each year to rats and water damage because he simply couldn't launder it fast enough. But while Escobar was building his lavish empire, he was also carefully cultivating a very different public image in his home city of Medellín. To the city's poor and forgotten, he wasn't a criminal, he was a savior. He poured millions of his drug profits into community projects. He built housing complexes for families who lived in the city's garbage dumps, creating entire neighborhoods that were fiercely loyal to him. The most famous of these was the Barrio Pablo Escobar. He constructed schools, hospitals, and sports stadiums, sponsoring local soccer teams and handing out cash to anyone in need. For many, he was the only one who seemed to care. The government had ignored them for decades, but Don Pablo gave them homes, jobs, and a sense of dignity. This created a powerful paradox. A man responsible for immense suffering was also seen as a benevolent provider. This Robin Hood persona was a calculated move, creating a human shield of popular support that made him untouchable for years. The foundation of Escobar's empire wasn't just money or loyalty, it was fear. His motto was plata o plomo, which means silver or lead. You could either accept his bribe, or you could face a bullet. This brutal philosophy was applied to anyone who stood in his way: politicians, judges, journalists, and rival traffickers. The Medellín Cartel unleashed a wave of terror on Colombia. Car bombs became a horrifyingly common occurrence in Bogotá and Medellín, killing hundreds of innocent civilians. They assassinated presidential candidates who spoke out against the drug trade, blew up a commercial airliner in midair, and stormed the Palace of Justice. The violence was indiscriminate and designed to cripple the state, forcing the government to bend to his will. The country lived in a state of constant fear. While some saw him as a hero in the slums, the rest of Colombia saw the true cost of his empire, written in the blood of thousands. By the late 1980s, the Colombian government, with heavy backing from the United States, declared an all-out war on the Medellín Cartel. The primary goal was to extradite Escobar to the US to face trial, a fate he feared more than death. His response was to escalate the violence, targeting anyone who supported extradition. After years of bloody conflict, a bizarre deal was struck. In 1991, Escobar agreed to surrender, but on his own terms. He wouldn't be sent to a regular prison. Instead, he would serve his time in a custom-built luxury prison of his own design, known as La Catedral, or the Cathedral. It was more of a resort than a jail, complete with a jacuzzi, a waterfall, a bar, and a soccer field. From his prison, he continued to run his cocaine empire, even ordering the torture and murder of his own associates within its walls. When the authorities discovered what was happening inside La Catedral, they decided to move him to a real prison. But Escobar wasn't going to be taken easily. He simply walked out, sparking one of the largest manhunts in history. For 16 months he was on the run. A special police unit, known as the Search Block, was created with the sole purpose of finding him. They were aided by U.S. intelligence and a shadowy vigilante group called Los Pepis, made up of Escobar's rivals who were determined to destroy him and his organization. The net began to close in. His empire crumbled. His family was unable to find refuge, and his loyal sicarios were captured or killed one by one. On December 2, 1993, the day after his 44th birthday, the manhunt came to a dramatic end. Using radio triangulation technology, the search block located Escobar in a middle-class neighborhood in Medellín. A firefight erupted, and Escobar was shot and killed as he tried to escape across a rooftop. Photos of the triumphant Colombian officers standing over his body were broadcast around the world, signaling the end of an era. The king of cocaine was dead. The fall of Pablo Escobar left a deep and lasting scar on Colombia. While his death brought an end to the reign of the Medellín Cartel, it didn't end the violence or the drug trade. Other cartels rose to fill the void, and the country continued to grapple with the fallout for decades. Today, his legacy is as complicated as ever. In the barrio Pablo Escobar, murals still celebrate him as a saint. But for the countless families who lost loved ones to his campaign of terror, he will forever be a monster. His story serves as a chilling reminder of the destructive power of greed and the complex nature of good and evil. He was a man who built homes for the poor with money earned from destroying countless other lives, hero or villain. The truth is, he was both, and that is the most haunting part of his legacy. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the dark and complex world of Pablo Escobar. What do you think? Was he a product of his circumstances, or a true monster? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more deep dives into history's most compelling figures. Thanks for watching.